Anonymous OG back with another video. Let's get right to it. Simon Sinek, in one of his amazing books, suggests this: start with why. My why for creating this video: I care about people and want to offer my experience to them to possibly benefit them. Okay, my ask, and it's also important, I believe, for you to understand my motivation. I have no sponsors. I have no affiliate offers. I decided when I started my YouTube channel I wasn't going to try to suck money out of our community in any way, shape, or form, and I haven't. That gives me the unique ability to not be having money bias my opinions of anything. And I'm not here for a popularity contest either. I am an American and a truth maxi. I'm going to give you people what I really believe in and what I believe is true, and that's it. And then you can do with it whatever you want. My ask: just set aside everything you think you know about Ponzi's. It is a strategy I used not to be in everlasting ignorance. I also add acceptance to this. Hope you will as well. There is a principle which is a bar against all information, which is proof against all argument, and which cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. This principle is contempt prior to investigation. So my ask is, listen to what I'm trying to share with you, my experience, with an open mind. Okay, thank you. Okay, now this directly leads into why listen to me. Experience. So your choice is listen and benefit from my experience, or figure shit out on your own. I have 10 years of experiencing, studying, and knowing how to ID Ponzi's. Now, just ask yourself, do you or anyone you listen to about Ponzi's have that amount of experience? Okay then, who are you going to listen to? So in this universe that Albert here says exists, there's one constant thing. It's change. Things evolve. Ponzi's have evolved. Now some are digital, like the Bitcoin network Ponzi. Einstein agreed. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not so sure about the universe. Ponzi's basically started out, with this guy. That's why they named it after him. All right, Ponzi started out mostly in people's homes, and they passed money hand to hand, right? That is Ponzi 1.0. That's where it all started. But that's not where it's all stayed. And to be a Ponzi, all right, you can boil it down to the most base elements. And if they're there, it's a Ponzi scheme. All right, so to be a Ponzi, these are the elements that are present in all Ponzi's. A structure that only takes in new money. That's the only revenue stream. And uses that new money solely to inflate the value of the people who are already in it, without any other revenue stream or any actual underlying legitimate business or product generating profit. That is the definition of a Ponzi. Now, tell me how that doesn't fit Bitcoin Ponzi 2.0. You can't. Ponzi's have now evolved where they can do their thing digitally. Now, you may think that this is harsh. I don't really care. I'm not here for popularity. I'm not here to try to make money off of any of the things that I do or say. I got plenty of money. I don't need to do any of that stuff, right? I have had 4 debates on this topic. I've won them all. Thank you very much. And I have had hundreds of conversations on X with stupid, unwilling people who refuse to set aside what they think they know about Ponzi's and listen to a Ponzi outlier. Me. And sadly, some of the stupid, and there's a lot of them, have passed on their ability to think to AI. Well, Houston, there's a problem. Now, the most interesting thing about this is a month ago, if I asked AI if Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, it just says no. And you have no idea how many people have been using AI instead of thinking for themselves. They just Google the question and it's right. Well, no. No. AI is not reliable yet. It only is able to spit out the information that is fed into it. So if the information fed into it says Bitcoin isn't a Ponzi, guess what you're going to get out? So but it's changed now because more people are adding information into these AIs, chatbots and whatever you want to call them, right? It's evolving. The definition now, people who really understand Ponzi's have been putting information in about what they are. So today, I got a different answer than just a flat no. It's debated. Many critics argue it has Ponzi-like characteristics. No shit. All right. And then when I put in how it works, right? Yes, a structure that only takes in new money. You can read the rest of that yourself. Is the definition of a Ponzi. Well, a smart person would read the definition of a Ponzi and then backtrack and see what led up to that last statement. And it is the definition of a Ponzi, and it fits the Bitcoin network Ponzi 2.0 to a T. It's not the Bitcoin token. The token is not the Ponzi. It's the way it is marketed. Just like oranges are not a security, but they can be involved in a security depending on the way that they are marketed. That's one of the things that hopefully we all learned from the Ripple case, right? And Howie. Now, I'm going to try again to break this down to things in its simplest terms. Now, this is a duck. It's got 4 common elements: a bill, webbed feet, wings, and feathers. Right, now this one's got glasses, but they don't need that to be a duck. Right, that just looks funny. That's why I chose that picture. Okay, so Ponzi's, digital or otherwise, have 4 common elements. Digital or not, 1, new money in. Right, so it takes in new money. And if that's the only revenue stream, there's number 1 for being a Ponzi. Number 2, no legit business operations. The Bitcoin Ponzi, the digital 2.0 version, doesn't have any legitimate business operations. It's computer code. It's just running. So, 3, there's no profits coming from non-existent business operations. I mean, this is just not difficult. Number 4, the only thing the new money does is inflate the value of the people who are already in it. We have a bingo. Thank you, Cousin Eddie. Then the stupid begins, because people who suffer from confirmation bias insist on doubling down on stupid. They stupidly will say it's not a duck because it's not white. It's not a duck if not wearing a hat and bling. Oh, good grief. What the Bitcoin network is not a Ponzi deniers do is say irrelevant things like it's decentralized, it's hard money, blah, 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 yada, 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 yada. See any of that rubbish in the definition of a Ponzi scheme? I don't see it anywhere. Well, then stop giving me irrelevant crap when you're trying to have a discussion with me about this. Goodness gracious. Okay, so here are the 5 parts of the digital Bitcoin network 2.0. I made it myself. I know you can tell. Hey, I don't have a graphics degree or anybody that makes my graphics for me, so just go with it. Okay, parts that work together to make the Bitcoin Ponzi network work? New money in? Yes. Exit exchanges on and off ramps. New naive suckers who were brought in and influenced by the promoters, the influencers, the marketing machine of the Bitcoin Ponzi network. Not really overly complicated, but these are the parts that make this Ponzi hum. And for some reason that I do not believe can ever be fully explained, some of the stupid still can't see the central part. What is wrong with your eyes? See the central part? It's that big black dot. It says Bitcoin Network. Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles can see that. I don't understand, but people with confirmation bias can't. They won't. Because they do not want to accept that they've gotten themselves involved in a Ponzi scheme. Well, sorry, but you have. I didn't make you do that. I'm just trying to help you understand what a Ponzi scheme is, and then you can decide for yourself if you feel like it's something you want to participate in. That's all completely up to you. And I don't hate Bitcoin. I just don't like Ponzi's. And this is a Ponzi. Hard stop. Okay, back to Simon Sinek. Why? Why is that important? Because in Ponzi's, three things are inevitable. Not trusting me? Do some of your own research. Madoff Ponzi didn't last. Charles's Ponzi's never last. They always collapse. Now, I don't want to hear from any of the stupid saying I'm saying the Bitcoin is going to go to zero. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's going to collapse, right? Stupid people like Sailin' Sailor and Max Nutty Roll Kaiser, I don't think they'll ever sell their Bitcoin. They're going to go down with the ship. They have too much pride invested, and pride always goeth before the fall. They have too much pride that they're never going to get out and admit that they were wrong. All right, so the other thing is the majority of the participants get hurt, i.e. they lose their money. This is stupid people listening to idiots and lunatics like Sailin' Sailor, who lost more money in .com than any other human being. And people listen to this nutbag. You know, my opinion that he's a nutbag. My opinion. That way, there's no libel. It's just my opinion. Not stating it as fact, sharing it as my opinion. All right, number 3. Timing is the only factor determining winners and losers. If you got into the Bitcoin at, let's say, $1,000, and you're in it right now at 99 or a little over 100,000, you win. But if you buy it now, your chances of a return on that investment is lower than it has ever been percentage-wise in the history of the Bitcoin network Ponzi 2.0. Because if you stop and you think about the ginormous amounts of money that have got to go into this thing now to keep it growing, the outflows. The other day, Zach Rector did a great video. He showed that there was $86 billion worth of inflows into the Bitcoin, I think it was the ETFs, but there was also $86 billion worth of outflows. Well, dudettes, retail ain't got the money to keep this thing growing at the pace that it needs new money to grow. It is not sustainable with one revenue stream, that being new money. It's just simply unsustainable. Now, it's one thing to consider. I'm all for it. I might be wrong. What if I am? I've been in the crypto space since 2017. I have avoided every rug pulling scam, and I'm up in all the cryptos that I bought. Okay, I'm not an XRP Maxi. It's the biggest holding that I have, but I own multiple crypto tokens, whatever you want to call them. All right, now, the morons that you people are choosing to listen to, ask them what their track record is and what amount of experience they have in understanding and identification of Ponzi schemes. And then you got to scratch your little head and you got to decide, who in the hell am I going to be listening to here? Am I going to be listening to people that have lost their ass in some of these scams and don't have any experience with Ponzi schemes at all except what they have Googled. And are they a reliable source of information for you concerning Ponzi schemes? And if they're not, listen to me. I'm not trying to pitch you anything. I don't have any product that I want you to buy. I don't have any conference I want you to go to. I do not give a shit what my follower count is. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm not trying to make any money off of anything associated with any social media that I have. I have done that in the past. I made a lot of money in online marketing. I could make money doing this if I chose to. I chose not to do that, because it interferes and blurs my vision of what it is that I want to say to other people. So I refuse to do it. So I'm hoping that that is going to lead to some credibility in some people's eyes to know that I've got no agenda here except what I honestly believe is the truth. And I'm trying to explain this to people so they don't get hurt. Because one thing you think... Anybody that's been in crypto any amount of time at all saw what happened when Luna went down, when FTX went down, right? The damn exchanges freeze up. Well, being over half the market cap of all of crypto, you think if the panic hits the Bitcoin network Ponzi 2.0, the exchanges are going to be able to handle all of the exits? Hell no, they're going to freeze up. That's why it's important to understand what you're involved in. You can play in Ponzi's if you want to. It's completely up to you, but just understand the game and understand that if you don't get out early enough, you're probably not going to get out at all. All right? So anyway, I love all of y'all. I love people. I'm trying to help. I care. And I'm sharing. And I'm willing to be wrong. But so far, ever since I put up my first video about Bitcoin being a Ponzi, I've not had one person, not one, negate my thesis. Not one. I've listened to a lot of gibberish and a lot of dumb, stupid bullshit, but I haven't had one person legitimately negate my thesis. So I hope if one person is able to hear what it is I'm saying, then it's all worth it. I don't care about views. I don't care about nothing. I care about if I might be able to help one other person not get wrecked. All right? The Anonymous OG. Good day.